I kind of like started telling my wife, like, I want to go to church, I want to do this, but I never did it.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I'm a photographer, and I started working with Patriots players, and so he hit me up on Instagram to do an Old Spice ad for him. And so like I guess I'm asking you for advice is like what do you give for advice on this topic where like my wife is everything to me, and maybe it's because I'm new, but I can't see myself loving something or someone more than her.
Like, it's gonna be so silly, dude. But I've always wanted to meet Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, imagine if he just doesn't like you. I'm like, no, he's gonna like me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna meet him one day. He's gonna like me.
There's this one thing that was spoken to at church, and it was about judging. And it's like, okay, like we see this person that is like very overweight, and oftentimes like people will laugh or people will say, okay, like they're overweight because they want to be, and because all this stuff. And it's very easy to judge.
Yeah.
And what they had said at church, which like really I'm trying to instill in my daily life every day, is
keep the faith flowing.
I feel the Holy Spirit right now, bro.
You could ask God for anything right now. What would it be?
He's good. He's sovereign.
Your God that he flies very well.
Praise God.
If this is not God, I don't know who it is.
Let God like take over the wheel. That's when it started to work.
You know, I prayed for that one.
Faith over fear always.
Welcome back, Faithful Podcast Season 2. Hope you guys haven't already. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Guys, I'm here today with really funny. You guys met Noel early on in Season 1. And today his friend actually hit me up this week, and we just set it up, and we're like, oh, let's do a podcast together. Yeah. So it was a good time. I played soccer with him not that long ago too. I played one day in Winchendon.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And so, guys, meet Facu.
How's it going? I'm Facu. I'm from Mass, obviously. I'm a photographer, and super excited to be here.
Guys, I'm excited for you guys to hear the story. It's actually super cool. We'll get right into a prayer, and then we'll get into the podcast.
Cool.
All right. Dear Father, we want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for everything you've done in our lives. We want to thank you for bringing Facu here with us today, Lord. We want to thank you for having him reach out to us. Father, we ask that you guide this podcast and that we feel your presence during it, and that you may speak through us, Lord, that it may not be our questions or our conversations, but may it lead all the followers and everybody watching, all the viewers, to you, Lord, and may all eyes be turned towards you. Father, we ask that you bless his life, your favor over him and his family, Father. Bless his wife. Lord, bless my home as well. Lord, all these things we pray, not in our name, but in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Bro. So we got to talk a little bit.
Yep.
So one thing that I usually like to start off as like early on in life, right? So growing up, right, you didn't really like go to church and like follow Jesus and stuff like that.
No.
That's like way late. That's like recently.
Yeah. And I mean, like I was telling you kind of like before, is that I went to church a few times like growing up, and I've been baptized and stuff like that, but I never really like fully committed to it up until recently.
When? Because you kind of had to, kind of felt like, oh, everybody's going, I should go.
Like, no, for me, it was like, I just had things that were going on in my life. And like I was telling you earlier, is like, I've always prayed growing up, before bed really is when it was. And then like, just in the last couple of months, like I just felt as if there was something telling me that like right now is the time, and that my life needed it. So that's kind of like when I really made the decision to get into it.
Was that was recently? So you've been with your now wife, right? You guys dated for 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
And was it like you guys made that mutual decision together, or were you kind of like, I need this for myself first?
It was like a little bit of both. It was more so like, so she grew up going to church.
Yep.
She grew up going to a Catholic church, and she goes for like Easter, Christmas, stuff like that with her family. But she, like, ever since I met her, like she didn't go to church, weekly and stuff like that.
It was more so for the holidays and stuff like that.
Yeah, things like that. But she's like, she's always been like a believer of God and stuff like that. But no, like I said, I kind of felt, I felt this thing that was just telling me like, it's getting near the time. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't more so like in the moment, but it was just like oftentimes I was getting these thoughts of like, I wonder what it would be like. And like I've always been a believer of God, and like even though I didn't go to church,
Yeah.
I still kind of like dabbled in it. And just like always had the belief of like God was with me. And like to be honest with you, there were times where like I questioned it.
Yeah.
And that's also because like I didn't go to church, and like I wasn't super familiar with it. I had friends that were, and and I just like really wasn't the person that I felt like I could be.
Yeah.
I felt as if I wasn't um per se like living to my full potential or purpose. And like I had been doing things like reading self-help books, and
How
like I
old were you
told
then?
this when I started reading
Yeah.
self-help books, probably like I don't know, like 23, 22.
Got it.
And it wasn't like I was reading every day. It
Yeah.
was more so like I was telling you, like I love Russ.
Yeah.
And I would listen to Russ's podcasts, like his music, stuff like that. And he's like very big into spirituality and stuff like that. And so I always like I loved listening to that stuff, but I didn't really like live my life by it. Like
Yeah.
manifesting, speaking things into existence, stuff like that. And so I started picking up these books that he would recommend through podcasts or interviews or even like in his music, like Napoleon Hill, Deepak Chopra. They're all just like authors of like self-help books and stuff like
Got it.
that. And so I kind of started buying those books, and like I would read a few pages, or I wouldn't read them all, but sometimes I would.
Yeah.
And like I would say the really like the first one, Russ came out with a book. It's called It's All in Your Head. And it's just a self-help book, and it kind of talks about his journey, and like how he, like came up and stuff like that. And I really resembled to like the human aspect of it, because he is like very vulnerable,
Got it.
and more so like like a kind of like an emotional person. And he never has a fear of being emotional or vulnerable. Like, he has millions and millions of people listening and whatever. And he's never had the fear of like being vulnerable. And I really tied to that. And so the first, like when I really dove into it was his first book, It's All in Your Head. And I just loved it. And I started kind of like living by that book.
And
Um,
you identify with the book and stuff,
oh,
right?
so much,
Yeah.
like so much stuff. And, and after that, like I just kind of started dabbling some more, picking up some more books. And I wouldn't even say like I'd be lying to you if I said like I read them all, but I
Yeah.
have them. And like I said, I've dabbled into them, but I never really fully read them until It's All in Your Head. And then he actually released another book. Um, and I love that one, just like I love the first one.
Yeah.
And like from there, I just kind of started kind of like living through that, and it's been amazing.
That's
Like
awesome,
I
man.
am so, if there's like, I'm so thankful for the love I have for Russ, and like all the things that I've learned from Russ.
Have you met him?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. I
That's
met
sick.
him. I met him a few times. I met him in New York for the book signing of It's All in Your Head.
That's sick.
And that was awesome. I actually went with my mom that day. We drove to New York. The book signing was like super late. It was like around like 8 o'clock at night. And I had drove
Oh,
to New York. Obviously, we're here in Massachusetts, so it's like 4.5, 5 hours. And I remember just like me and my mom were just like sitting in my car, just waiting. Like we got food, whatever, and then we went back to my car, we waited, and it was just like, okay. And then we finally went in, and it was amazing. And I met him there. I met him at a concert twice. I actually met him with my mom, and I met him with my wife.
that's
I
awesome.
met him by myself. So
Were you able to like talk to him or just kind of like
yeah.
quick, like
No, I talked to him, and like, um,
you tell me you take pictures? Like, oh, I can take pictures of you.
no. So like at the time, like I was making music.
Oh, okay.
And so I met him a few times, and every time that I met him, like one thing that I would tell everybody, because people would ask, because I posted pictures, whatever.
Yeah.
And so people would ask, like, oh, well, what was it like meeting Russ? And the thing that I always told people is like, yeah, he's awesome, whatever. But the thing that was like really important was that I felt as if he was fully present and listening to me. And like I've met a lot of famous people and like professional athletes and stuff through like photography and just like meet and greets, whatever. And like it's always like very passive. But
Yeah.
with Russ, like he was listening to me.
You took the time.
Yeah. And it's like when somebody is like, you know, you idolize this person, they're so big. Um like it's you almost think like, why would they care
Yeah.
about me? But like when I spoke to him, he was just like so caring. He took the time to ask questions. He was so involved, and like I just love that. And
That's
and
awesome.
it's like one of those moments where like you meet your hero, and a lot of people say like, oh, you know, you there's like a common saying that I can't remember, but it's like you meet your hero and they're not what
Yeah.
you expect them to be. And when I met him, he was everything I expected him to be. So it was like,
It's just how you pictured it.
oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was
Dude.
amazing. And every time that I've met him, it's been amazing. And like he remembered me and stuff. And like just like, you know, like I was at the time, like this was a few years ago, and it was just like I thought to myself, wow, like
Yeah.
why does he remember me?
Yeah.
And like it just comes to the fact that like he was there, he was present, and you know, he was engaged.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
It was awesome.
That's so sick.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
My wife makes fun of me all the time because like I've always wanted to, like, it's gonna be so silly, dude, but I've always wanted to meet Justin Bieber.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, imagine if he just doesn't like you. I'm like, no, he's gonna like me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna meet him one day. He's gonna like me.
He's so like even Justin Bieber, right? Like I love Justin Bieber's
Yeah.
music. And I think that Justin Bieber is so talented. Like I look at him as such a talented person.
Yes, dude, literally.
And I also like I think about things like a little too in depth sometimes. And I think about the money is cool and the fame is cool. But like he was so young,
Oh yeah.
and you almost like feel bad.
That's why
At least myself.
dude, we're thinking on the same brain, dude. Because like that's exactly what I say. It's like, imagine if you were given us with less money did way dumber things. He
Mhm.
just got caught. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
And everything, every move he makes is in the spotlight. And it's like, imagine the mistakes that we have made if there was millions and millions and millions of people just like
Waiting.
criticizing us, preying on our downfall, like hating us.
and waiting for us to slip up, just do that one
Yeah.
little silly thing.
So yeah, like I feel like bad for him.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it also comes with a lot of great
Yeah.
stuff, you know, like he's
100%.
financially forever good.
His kids.
And like his kids and his grandkids.
and he can sing
yeah.
like an angel.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I love Justin Bieber too. So
Dude.
like not silly at all.
But the whole thing you said about like people listening, right?
Hmm.
It was funny. We went to a Matt Rife show.
Okay.
And literally right after the show, the guy at the show was like, "Hey, like, you know, there's a couple VIP left." And I was like, "Oh, whatever. Like, how much is it?" And I think it was like $50. And I was like, "Oh, let's go."
Yeah.
You know? So then we like went and then like people were in line or like all like, you know, the girls like, "Oh, do I look good? Do I look
Yeah,
cute?"
yeah, yeah.
Da, da, da. And me and her like laughing at like all these people just like thinking that like he's gonna leave there and just even remember you.
Yeah.
And then
Because he does it every night.
yes.
Yeah.
And like, come on, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then so then like it gets to our turn and she's pregnant, right? And he literally like is so just like happy to see us. And we're
Yeah.
just like, I don't even know you. And like this man's like showing God's love.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and I don't even like, I mean, now I know that he's Christian because I saw that like he got
Mhm.
baptized, he's like saved and everything. And
Yep.
he's very into his Christianity. But then he was like, just came up to us and goes, "Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for coming." And at first I'm like, oh, okay, this is just like an act. Like this is what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but then he genuinely was like caring and like asked her like how far along she was and like, you know what I mean? Just like asking about our lives.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, dude, this is like so cool.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was cool too to meet someone that like I look on, like, you know what I mean? I look at TV, this dude's hilarious. I
Yeah,
love this guy. And then to be able to like see him and talk to him was just crazy. That was like some
Yeah.
nuts.
Well, it's also like I said, like I've met a lot of like professional athletes and like famous people and stuff like that. And a lot of them don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and like it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know, they see a million people, a million people tell him like,
You changed my
we look up to you,
life.
all this stuff. And so, I mean, you can't blame him.
Yeah.
But when you do come across that one person that you really idolize and in a way like love them,
Yeah.
it just feels so good.
Dude, and it's funny because it is love, but like that
Yeah.
love is instilled that like Jesus loved everybody, right?
Yeah.
And the word is love. So
Uh-huh.
it's like it's okay to literally see someone and be like, dude, I have so much love and care for you that
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't treat him like you shouldn't be treating them like they're anybody better than you
Mhm.
because they see the fact that he saw you and he listened to you,
Yeah.
he put himself like the reason that makes you love him so much more, he
Mhm.
put himself, you're like, wow, we're the same, we're just
Yep,
human.
we're humans, yeah.
And some people realize that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some people don't. Some people
And
are like, dude,
and it's like we get caught up in that fame
yeah,
and the money and just all these things that come with
yeah.
being so like influential and so big. And it's almost like nerve-wracking.
It
Like
is.
when you meet somebody like that and it just feels so good to have somebody that you idolize like actually show you
100%.
care.
It was like it's that one player I told you about. Like, dude, the reason that I like him so much is that I just see so much like humbleness and like simplicity in him. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, all I see are like interview podcasts and stuff like that. But like, dude, he's just generally all the time just so like grateful and happy with like anything that's going on. And he's just like, yep, yep. And he's like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Just like
yeah.
I live life. Like it is what it is. I love
Yeah.
God and
Yeah.
everything's his will, and that so be it. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude, you're the man. You know what I mean?
He's amazing. He's amazing. And like we'll talk about that too,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's incredible.
Dude, it's good to see that there's people like that that understand that, they are where they are, but they're still God's
Oh
kids.
yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
so then going back even a little bit, were your parents Christian at all or no?
Like kind of like I said, I got baptized and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and my mom prayed every night, but we never went to church. You know, like
Got it.
we went to church once or twice,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we really never went.
Got it.
Um,
She taught you to pray and stuff like
yeah,
that.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
but it was never like we were going to church.
She put God in you because you did know who he was and you prayed to him
Yeah,
regardless. So
every night, every night,
yeah.
and I learned that through her. But I never like I did pray
Yeah.
at night, but I never lived my like day to day. Like I wasn't praying. I wasn't expressing gratitude for the things that I had. It was just more so
Was it a recited prayer? Or was it like every night, like whatever was came to your mind, you would actually just say it? Or was it like recited?
so a little bit of both. So like it wasn't like a recited prayer that I saw online or somebody told me. It was actually something that I came up with myself.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because till this day, so now that I've gotten more in tune with God and stuff like that, I've added to it, but I still say it.
Yeah.
And like there's certain things that if I don't say,
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable. It's weird. Like
Yeah.
I have this prayer and I've added to it, but if I miss this one part of this prayer that I've done basically my whole life, I can't like it's something just like in my head, like say it, you know?
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
it's
Well,
like
hey,
my own recited prayer.
yeah, but that's fine. You know what I mean? Like as long as like you said, you are adding things that are going on through your day. You
Mhm.
are, you know what I mean? And it is a conversation, right? It's not like like a recited thing where it's just like you're repeating yourself the same thing.
Yeah.
You're saying new things.
Yep.
And so you like really got yourself like into Christ and into God and Christianity and religiousness and faith in
Mhm.
general. That was 3 months ago, you said, right? Before
Yeah,
Pentecost?
like around that time.
Yeah, like 3, 4 months ago.
Yeah, so kind of like to start this
Yeah.
is as I was saying earlier, I had this thing in me that was just like knocking at the door, like telling me it's your time, you know, you gotta lock in with God. And to start, I kind of like started telling my wife, like, I want to go to church, I want to do this, but I never did it.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I'm a photographer and I started working with Patriots players and so Travion Henderson, he hit me up on Instagram to do an Old Spice ad for him. And so I did the video for him and we had each other's numbers and like we were texting and stuff like that. And so I kind of started like diving into him and his Instagram and social media stuff.
You hadn't talked about God yet.
No.
Okay.
And I realized that he is like very in tune with God and stuff like that. And so we actually we planned to do a reshoot of the video because there was some stuff that we had missed. And so the night before we did the reshoot, he was in Minnesota. It was actually this year. He had a preseason game in Minnesota and he scored a touchdown, and it was his first NFL touchdown, even though it was like preseason.
Yeah.
So I texted him and like I congratulated him and stuff. And then we kind of like had planned for the following day when he was back in Mass to reshoot the video. And he texted me saying like, hey, me and a few of the guys are going to church tomorrow. I just want to say like I would love for you to come. And I said, yeah, for sure, you know, and
This is everything I've been waiting for.
yeah, well, it was like it was almost like perfect because it was like
Yeah.
in due time it happened, and that was kind of like the push that I needed to get me there. And so the following day, I met him at the church, and this wasn't the type of church that I thought it was going to be. You know, like
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a Catholic church and
You sit down and you kind of
yeah, and like this like beautiful big church, the windows and all that stuff, you know. All the stuff that comes with like one of those churches.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to be like that, but it wasn't. It was like a auditorium. Like it was this beautiful building that looked nothing like my idea of church. Like it looked nothing like it. And so we go in and they're having a concert, and they have cameras and lights and it literally looked like a concert, like a beautiful concert. Everybody was like singing incredible.
I know that church too.
Yeah. And it's like, and I was like, oh, whoa, like this is way different. And like I was vibing out and stuff. I'm like, yo, this is amazing.
This
Like
is lit.
I've never, yeah, I was like, I never, like this wasn't my idea of church. Like I didn't
Yeah.
even know about this.
You can be
And-
happy at church.
Yeah, like you can, and like, you know, like Trey was wearing like sweatpants, and like I dressed pretty nice because
Full suit?
no, but like I was, you know, I was swagging out, and I like had picked my outfit before because I thought it was like one of those churches, and I remember even asking Trey, like I had said to him, like, what should I wear, and he said, "Come as you are," and I kind of took that as like I'm an athletic person, like
Yeah.
I'm usually wearing joggers and like
A Revs
sweatpants.
t-shirt.
Yeah, you know, like I'm wearing comfy clothes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, come as you are probably doesn't mean wear
Yeah.
comfy stuff.
Not
And-
as I am, but
Yeah. And so like when I saw him, I was like, oh, all right, well, like he's wearing like
You-
joggers.
you
I
going
was
to
like-
practice after this, dude?
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. So like I said, I'm dressed pretty nice, but like when I walked in, there was people in sweatpants, and then you had the lady that was dressed 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you had a guy in a suit, and then you looked over and there's a guy that was in sweatpants. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
you know, this is my style. Like I could pull up to church next week in my sweats. Like, what? Let's go. So it was awesome. But anyways, I was there, and like the whole concert was going on. And then after the concert, portion of it, they really started getting into it. And the person that was speaking at the church, like him and I kept locking eyes, and he said this thing about if you're a first timer here, you know, like we welcome you to the church, and just like saying all this stuff and talking about how like he was so happy that you chose today to come because like a lot of people put it off. And it was like so me because
Yeah.
I had been putting it off.
Yeah.
And like Trey asking me to come was, like I said, that like that push that I needed. So I instantly felt connected. It was amazing. And throughout the service, like he just kept saying stuff, and I just kept noticing that we were locking eyes, and I felt so in tune, and I like started crying, and like I don't know, like I felt weird to cry around
Yeah.
like nobody there I knew. You know,
Yeah.
it was a faraway church. Like I've never been into that town or city, whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I didn't know anybody there except for like Trey that I
Yeah.
had just met. And so I'm like, all right, like I'm crying right now. Like, bro, chill. You know, like don't be crying right now. But I
Okay,
couldn't.
Holy Spirit, I feel you, but like, yo, come on, like,
Yeah, but it was like it was just like so overcoming. Like I
course.
felt this thing in my chest. It was like a shock of electricity. Like I just like licked my finger and like touched like something. Like I got zapped.
And life just like
It-
flashed before your
yeah, and it
eyes.
was so beautiful, and I never felt that in my life. Never once did I have that feeling. And and I just remember like I I was like really tuned in and listening, and I was getting emotional. And I remember Trey just like for a second just like put his hand on me because he was sitting right next to me. And like when he put his hand on me, I remember just I wanted to cry more. Like
Yeah.
I felt this love. I felt this
It's like when your parents go, "Is everything okay?" And
yeah,
that
and you just it all comes down. And
Yeah.
so like he just like kind of like just put his hand on me because like I could tell that he was almost like like feeling this thing that I was feeling like
Yeah.
through me. I don't know. It was weird.
Compassion. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so like that was amazing. And after that, I actually didn't go to church for like a few months, but it
You're
was
like, "This is great."
but I didn't I
I get it
didn't
though.
like to be honest with you, and it's like lazy of me, but
Yeah.
like I didn't want to drive an hour and 20
Yeah.
minutes to go to church. Like, but that feeling that I had stuck with me. And so then on my own, I started to just pray throughout my day. I started to be more grateful
Based off
and
that one experience.
based off that one experience. And Trey actually I had been texting him after. I said, "Thank you so much, all this stuff." And I told him like I wanted a Bible because I
Yeah.
didn't have one. And he actually introduced me to this Bible that he got when he first started you know, like getting right with God and stuff.
Yeah.
And he sent it to me. I ordered it right away on Amazon. And I got it in the mail, and I kind of like I started looking at it. And I had like looked at a Bible before but never like really read it because I
Foreign
had
language.
yeah, like I had this fear that I wasn't gonna understand, you know, like the
Yeah.
thou and stuff like that. And I just didn't, and I had told Trey that too. Like, I just don't know if like I'll understand it. And so this one that he sent me, I think it's NLT.
Yeah.
So it's like the Bible, but on the side it's got all these like little notes.
Which
And
one is it? Is it Every Man's Bible?
yeah,
That's one I have, dude.
yeah,
That one's sick.
it's like the brown one,
Yeah, I
like
got
a
the
leather.
black one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But
it literally has like sick like illustrations in it too, like
yeah.
the fire
yeah,
Yeah.
and it has like all those notes.
for
And so
men.
like yeah, which like I don't really understand still to this point. Like I don't understand like the for men part, but
Yeah.
like
It's because so like they'll teach you how to like read it.
mhm.
So you read it, and then it'll give you like the manly explanation because they do have a woman's version.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
then it'll teach you like they'll teach the woman like the woman's version of what you're reading.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I love these little side notes
Yeah.
because I read it all and then I will read the side notes. And like when I read it, obviously it's new to me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like understanding things, but when I read the little side notes, I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay. This is why they're saying this and stuff like that." And so I got that Bible and I just started reading it every once in a while,
Did you
not
start
every day.
randomly, or you
Yeah, like I mean, like I got the Bible in the
Yeah.
mail from Amazon. Luckily, Prime it was here the next day,
yeah.
and I just started reading it every once in a while, not every day. And I started liking it more and more.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what you started with or no? Like what Bible
this
chapter
was
or
like
book?
the first, like
You
it's
started in Genesis.
yeah. I mean, like I still am learning, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know where I really started, but I started where like God created the
Everything.
earth and you know
Yeah.
days and nights and the garden and the forbidden fruit and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so like I started thinking to myself like because he had talked about like temptation, like
Yeah.
in the Bible it had spoken about temptation and how he had said like don't eat the fruit off
Yeah.
this tree. And like correct me if I'm wrong because
No,
like
no,
I
no,
said
no.
I'm still
You're
learning.
good. You're good. No, you're on point.
And so like he had said the thing about like this tree is essentially like this temptation tree.
Yeah.
And you have to fight this temptation. So in my head,
But you can go if you want. I'm gonna let
Yeah.
you go if you want.
it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I almost like started to think about that tree as the temptations that we have in life. whether that's like, you scroll on Instagram and it's like naked girls and all this stuff, or like your friends sending you girls. And it's like that is a temptation that like
Of course.
I don't want to see.
Yeah.
But like it's being shot at me.
Of course.
And like almost like in a way, like I can't do anything about it. And then like other temptations, like
Gambling.
I
like,
used to like smoke a lot of weed,
yeah.
and I did it for a long time. And I loved it.
Yeah.
But I also felt like it was wrong.
Yeah.
So within that love of it, I always had like why am I doing this? But I loved how I felt when I was smoking weed.
This is before Christianity.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so like I smoked a lot of weed and stuff. And like I said, I didn't feel good about it, but
Yeah.
I felt good when I did it. And
That's what I tell people. I tell people this all the time. It's like when you're doing it, stuff's great.
yeah.
You're drinking, you're getting drunk. When you're smoking, you're getting high. It feels sick. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you no. If it feels bad, why would people still do it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But you stopped before your journey started, or after the journey?
Yeah, kind of like before.
Yeah.
Actually, like what kind of led me to stop smoking weed was I got a job where like I wasn't getting drug tested, but if I did something wrong, then it would lead to like a drug test. And then, I was making good money and
Yeah.
the benefits of the job were great. And I just said to myself, like, okay, I'm not going to smoke weed. Like these benefits, all this other stuff outweighs the feeling that I have when I smoke weed.
Yeah.
And so like I stopped, and the first 2 months were brutal. They were brutal. I don't think a lot of people talk about this, of like how hard it is to stop smoking weed, because like people see it as like, okay, like it's this plant and it's natural and this. No, like it's very much an addiction. And it was so hard. It was so hard to stop. Like I wasn't eating. It was affecting me. Like I never had anxiety in my life. When I stopped smoking weed, I felt like the world was coming down on me. I was going down these rabbit holes in my mind, just negative, completely negative, that I've never felt before. So it was this new thing that I didn't know how to deal with. And my wife was so helpful throughout the process of it. And she was always there for me, and like just helping me throughout it. And now like I haven't smoked weed. There's been times where like I've done like an edible or whatever since then. And every time that I've done it, I feel so wrong. And like that feeling of feeling so wrong is so much stronger than the good that I get out of it.
100%.
So I've like gotten away from it. And like for me, it was like one of the biggest steps in my life. And, to somebody who like smokes weed every day, or even somebody who doesn't, and they just kind of see it as like, oh yeah, you can stop. Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's dark. It's bad.
100%.
And
Especially when you learn to live with it.
Yeah.
Right? Because your days are like, oh, you know what I mean? It's not going to affect me. Later, I'm just going to go smoke some pot and like be fine.
Yeah.
Because everything goes back to it.
Yeah.
And the biggest lie you can tell yourself is I'll stop whenever I want. I just don't
Mhm.
want to yet.
Yeah. And that is the lie, because like, my brother, he doesn't smoke weed. He's a very straight edge. And he always told me like, you are addicted to it. And I'd say, no, I'm not addicted to it. And I could stop whenever I want. And that was a lie I was telling myself, but I was telling the people that I loved. And yeah, it was just such a lie.
Yeah.
It was like it. And I knew that like when I said that lie, I knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel good to say it, but it was just something that comforted me, almost like in a sense of like, you shouldn't be doing this,
Yeah.
but you're not addicted.
Don't worry.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I was addicted. And I'm just like, now I'm just so happy that I'm not, and I can go to bed without smoking weed, and I can cook dinner and enjoy my food and all that
And
type
not
of
eat
stuff.
3 plates.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, I still eat 3 plates, but like,
It's okay.
but I'm not high
We're
while I'm
growing.
eating. Yeah, like I'm not high while I'm eating 3 plates. So like, I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it more.
Tastes better.
But like, I would be lying if I said to you like, even now
Yeah.
there isn't like there's times where I say like, oh man, like I'd love to smoke a joint.
Yeah.
Like I would love to smoke. And then something inside me tells me like, nah,
It's
like
conviction, man.
yeah.
It's that
It,
conviction
and
that
it
helps
feels
you.
so good.
It
If
does.
you like it feels so good to say no.
Yeah.
But
And God will fill that empty hole too, dude. Like,
mhm,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, because you want to smoke because you have that hole inside you, like, oh man, I was sad. So I want to fill that up with happiness,
yeah.
or I want to get away from that pain.
Mhm.
And then the second you say no, God just how I see it is like God waits for you to say no. Second you say no, he goes, all right, now come here. I got you.
Yes,
And he'll hug
yes,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
And like going back, like I was telling you, like before we were doing the podcast, like my brain is
We both
everywhere.
got ADD, dude. Don't worry.
So it's like, so going back to this was like, okay, so like I stopped after I went to church with Trey. I didn't go for a little while, and within that time, like I stopped smoking weed, and I was just kind of like getting
Yeah.
better in life. And I remember like my wedding was coming up, and in that time before my wedding, I started like really wanting to like more and more like get into church and get right with God. And I remember the day before my wedding, because like my wedding was very like me and my wife and my mother-in-law and stuff, like we did a lot,
Yeah.
more my wife and my mother-in-law.
Give her
But
the
like
props. Give her the props, or she'll
it
kill
was
you later.
very like stressful, and it was very like
100%.
DIY whatever. And I remember we got married on Saturday, and the Friday, the day before, I went to go get a haircut. And so I get a haircut, and I'm sitting in my car, and I just start like thinking to myself, like I started going down this rabbit hole of like, oh my God, like my wife is my best friend. My wife is my everything. I'm so well, my fiance at the
Yeah.
time, one day before.
Oh yeah. She's
Like
your wife.
she's my everything to me, and like I'm so blessed that I found this amazing person, And I remember I was listening to I think it's called Oceans,
Yeah.
Spirit, yeah, and so I'm like full blast listening to this song, and I'm literally like crying so
Yeah.
much to where like if I was at a red light, the guy next to me would have probably called the cops, thinking like I was going through it,
This guy, I don't know where he's driving to, but you got to get over here.
Yeah, and like, dude, I was crying so much, and I was just crying these tears that I've never cried before, and I had this feeling that I never had before. And I remember, my house was a mess because we had all this wedding stuff, and I remember I sat outside and I cried more and more and more, and then I just like kind of took a breath. I went inside, and I remember I came inside like all red, crying and stuff. My wife's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I just like I remember I just like didn't say nothing, but I just like opened my arms, and she gave me like we gave each other just like the biggest hug ever, and we just held on to it like so strong. And I remember I had said to her like, can we just pray right now? And she had said to me, "Oh, like I'm doing it." I said, "No, no, just can we just pray right now?" And so we prayed, and it felt so amazing. And I kind of like remember her looking at me kind of like, what's going on right now?
Yeah.
But it was also like the emotions of getting married and all this stuff. It's just so many emotions. And then I remember I said to her, I said, like when we go to the venue and we're setting things up, like I just want to just pray together. I just want to step away from everybody, and I want to pray together. And we did that. And throughout my wedding, which was the best day of my life, surrounded by the people that I love the most. I remember like throughout my wedding, just thanking God, just saying like, thank you so much. And like at this point, like I didn't know God. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really have a relationship with him. And I had just
This is 2 months ago.
no, I got married in September 20th.
Oh, okay. This is
So
last year.
this past
Yeah.
September. So, yeah, last year.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
2025. Yeah.
So I had just like I didn't know him, but I just knew he was there. And so throughout the whole day, I was just thanking God how amazing this day is. Thank you so much. Like everything fell into place. Everything was so beautiful just throughout the day. And after my wedding, I started to just like that feeling came back like, all right, you're married now. This is really the time to like everything felt so right. And fast forward a few months ago, me and my wife started going to the church that we go to in Fitchburg, the Life Church.
Yeah.
And it was so great because it was the both of us. And it was just like beautiful because this started as something that I was interested in and that I wanted to do. And now it's like, okay, my best friend is here with me. And we're both taking this step to wake up on Sunday and go to church. And
Together.
yeah, and it was so amazing. And I remember that first day that we went to church, like I just remember crying so much. I was crying so much. And like I said, like this isn't the church that like my wife grew up in, this isn't the style. And I remember like we were so happy. And after church we were talking about it, and I just like I never felt this before. I mean, like the last time I felt this was like when I went with Trey.
Yeah.
Um but now it's even more because I'm here with my best friend. I'm here with my wife, the person I love the most, my everything,
Yeah.
and we're sharing this beautiful moment. And ever since then we've been going every Sunday. And there isn't a Sunday that I go to church that I'm not bawling my eyes out.
Dude, that's the best
Uh,
feeling,
you
man.
know, and it's been amazing.
That's the thing. It's I don't know, like I don't know if you know this, but like that's the most beautiful part, right? Is that like you're so close to God and you
Mhm.
feel like you're so far, right? You're like, oh, I can always do better. I can always do this. I can always do better. And I can see how much you like search for it, right?
Mhm.
And it goes back to the Bible verse, like seek and you shall find,
Mhm.
right? And so like you're seeking, you're knocking because you're praying all the time and you're going to church every Sunday.
Mhm.
So knocking it shall be open, right? And
Yeah.
then like ask and it shall be given.
Yep.
So then it's like, bro, you're following those and you're like reading the Bible and you're praying and you have this, this beautiful relationship with your wife where like you see that she's your best friend, the one that
Mhm.
God gave you. And you're crying at church because you're feeling the Holy Spirit, man. Like
Yeah.
you understand that God's there with you, and
Yeah.
that's the best feeling
It's
ever.
literally the best feeling. Like I can't even, it's like indescribable.
Yeah,
This feeling, it's like one of those things like you don't know till you're there.
yeah.
And when
And
you're
you can't
there,
describe it,
yeah,
dude. Like,
because like if I describe it, like I'm just describing like all like a million different things. This like tingle in my finger, this tingle in my toes, this like beautiful pain in my chest. It's just
yeah.
you
I,
wouldn't know.
nah, nah.
You
Like
wouldn't know until you're
you
there.
feel lighter.
Uh-huh.
It's so tough to explain.
Yeah. And like honestly, it's like my my best friend also he goes to that church too, and he's been
Yeah,
going for a while. And it's just like it's so great being there with the people that I love. And like now my brother-in-law goes to church with us, and it's like we're just like slowly like building up this community. Now my father-in-law has said like, "Oh, I'll go with you guys." And it's just like he my father-in-law would go to church with my mother-in-law and like the rest of their family on like holidays and stuff, but like he wasn't going because my mother-in-law goes every Sunday or
yeah,
Saturday. But he doesn't go with them. And just like now, just hearing him say to us, like, "Oh yeah, I'll come." It's like, like
yes, dude.
yes, like this is awesome. And like honestly, I can't speak for my father-in-law, but I would say that the reason through my eyes that he is willing to do it is because of we go to their house every Sunday for dinner, and every Sunday like me, my wife, my brother-in-law, my other brother-in-law who's been coming, we're just like,
They're kids.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
kids. Yeah, yeah. So we're all talking like, "Oh my God, like today at church and this and that." And it's so positive.
yeah,
And it's like positivity rubs off on people.
100%.
And I would love to believe that like my father-in-law seeing all this positivity from the people that he loves is what is having him say like, "Oh wow, like, like
It's
I'll go."
reflecting.
Yeah.
It's reflecting onto him. Jesus' light is reflecting from you guys onto him. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
So after like the whole prayer and stuff like that happened, that was on a Friday. And so Sunday, we're at church, and it's me, my wife, my best friend, her brother. And so every time before they start like the big service and stuff like that, somebody will come out and they'll talk and just kind of like pray over the church and stuff like that. And it just so happened to be Paul. And he had come out and just kind of like told people, like I had this moment on Friday and this and that, and I knew he was talking about me. And my wife, she actually was like crying, and my wife's not a crier. And so like when she heard that, she knew about it because I had told her.
Yeah.
And she starts like crying. And it just so happened that at that moment they also like tell people like they do another two or three songs, and then they tell people like the altar is open, and there's like I think they're called prayer leaders
Hmm.
on the sides of the church and stuff, and people will go up to the altar and they'll just kneel down and pray and do their thing and pray about the things that they need. And I've always wanted to do it while I've been at church, but I just haven't had it in me to do it. I don't know what it was or why I didn't do it, but I didn't. But um this just so happens that this Sunday my wife like said to me like, "Do it. Go." And so like I remember I went down there and I kneeled down, and they were singing and stuff, and like I have all these people around me praying too, and my buddy was over there, he's praying as well. And I remember I took my glasses off and dude, I started crying so much, and I started like praying so hard. Like it was incredible. And it felt so right to go down there and to have the courage to do it. And as I was doing it, man, I was just so thankful for everything. It wasn't I wasn't only thankful for the Friday where he made the prayer and being at church now and all that stuff. I was thankful for life. I was thankful for everything. And this is another one of those moments where it's like I've never felt this way
Yeah.
until I've been going to church and until I've been just like getting involved and stuff like that. And like, wow, it was just like just this like overcoming thing. And now that I look back, I'm talking to you about it. I'm so happy that I did it. I'm so grateful that I went down there and I prayed. And I remember once I was done, I went back to my seat, and like my buddy was sitting here, my wife was sitting here and stuff. And I remember just like I had my hoodie and I was just crying so much. And so like I covered my face and I just was bawling my eyes out. And I didn't feel any shame. I didn't feel like less of a man for crying in front of people. And and all I can say is that like without God, like I would have never done that. I would
Yeah.
have never cried in front of people. I would have never been so vulnerable. I would have never um I would have just never just sat there and cried at the beauty of what I was going through.
Yeah.
And so it almost made me like thankful for what I was going through, and just even more thankful that I'm not going through this alone and that I have this support with me. And just, oh man, it's just so amazing.
Dude, that's what I love too about like church because you know, we walk with God constantly, of course.
Yeah.
But like when you're around, like everybody else has that same drive and that
Uh
same
huh.
goal. Like you just like you feel hugged by them, even though they're not physically hugging you.
Hmm.
You just feel that everybody is like, we're with you.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's like so welcoming.
Yeah.
It's to anybody listening. This is the most beautiful thing. It's the best thing. Do it. Please do it. You know?
Gotta do it. You really gotta. And like I think we were talking about this before the podcast. Yeah, it's like if you don't, what is it gonna hurt you to just do it and try it out?
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, just try it. And if you don't like it, which I doubt it,
Hmm.
if you don't like it, then all right, so be it. But
Yeah.
try it out. You know what I mean? Like, but it's one of those things where you got to you got to feel the love of God because like nobody deserves to go through this world without the love of God. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
you got to. I mean, like none of us are deserving of the love of God, but like I would do someone wrong I would be doing someone I know wrong if I've even met them once without telling them go try Jesus.
Yeah.
Because like how much does he love us and how much has he done for us that I can't just tell someone like go try him out.
Yeah. One thing that like I would like to ask you,
Yeah.
because like I said before, this is all kind of like new to me, and it's only been a few months, and my life has been so incredible and has changed. But there's this one thing that has been just kind of like not bothering me, but on my mind.
Yeah.
And that one thing is like when I go to church, right? Or when I speak to somebody who's like involved, they always talk about loving God more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, and for me, that's tough for me. And it's not because I don't love God, but
Yeah.
it's because I love my wife more than anything.
Yeah.
And like I said before, my wife is my best friend. She is everything to me. She's my life.
Yeah.
She's my everything. And there's nothing that I put above my wife. And anybody that I've spoken to about it, they basically have told me you need to love God more than anything
Yeah.
because then you'll be able to love in a better way.
Yeah.
And so like I guess I'm asking you for advice is like what do you give for advice on this topic where like my wife is everything to me and I just maybe it's because I'm new, but I can't see myself loving something or someone more than her.
Yeah. So number one, right? God tells us to love him over everything, right? So we love God first, and then our wife, and then ourselves, right? That's like the way it goes. If you want to learn how to love God in a way that's like I don't want to seem like I'm pushing her aside or stuff like that, seek God together, right? So
Which is like what we do.
yeah,
You
but
know, like
essentially like you guys pray together before going to bed.
sometimes, yeah.
Pray together before going to bed. Do you guys like Bible studies together?
No.
Try to do a Bible study. Like it's gonna start off because it's tough, dude. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like you know what I mean. Like we used to have our things that we do like Bible on Thursday, but now I play soccer on Thursday nights. So
Yeah.
now it's like okay, let's find a different day. We just start doing it every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if we miss a day, man, it's tough. But at least we're doing it every day. In our heads, we got to do this every day before going to sleep.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever feel like do you do you ever feel like you're like forcing it on her?
so
Does that make sense?
I do 100%. So God called the man to lead the home.
Okay.
So not that you should be forcing on her, right? You shouldn't be forcing her to doing it, but you should be showing her how much loving God is good.
So are you saying more so like lead by example?
Exactly. And then like she should want to do the things that like for example, I saw how happy you were when you went to church. I want to try that out, right? And
Yeah.
then secondly, like you're worshiping God in the car. I don't remember if this was on the podcast, this was before, but like you guys are listening to like Christian songs,
Yeah. Like
right?
music,
Worship. So then like now she's loving it and her gestures have changed and her
Okay.
happiness has changed, right? So you show her, right, that love of God and that like passion to like want to be with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that when you're doing that, you're putting God first. Why? Because you're not showing God how to love her. You're showing her how to love God.
Okay.
And it's a triangle,
Yep.
right? So if you love your wife more than God, so you're here, she's here, and God's here, right? If you're showing her that, I mean, if you're loving her more than putting her first, you're going this way. But you're that much further from God. But if you love God first, she'll automatically, and she starts loving God first, and you guys are both at this point like doing it by example, right? To one another, to the people around you, you guys will automatically be closer to each other.
And going upwards.
Going upwards towards God. And God will give you more love for one another. Love that you thought you like, oh, dude, I love her so much.
Yeah.
You'll love her even more. Right?
Yeah.
And that's God's daughter. Like, I'm not saying don't take her out on a date.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because, oh, I got to go to church today. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, you always putting God first and praying to God and realizing that She's not going to solve your issues. God is. But you guys praying together
Mm-hmm.
is you guys asking God, please. You know what I mean? Like, Lord, please give us this child. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys want to have a kid one day, you pray to God to have a child. You know what I mean? Like, that's the stuff that, like, you know what I mean? You guys can do together.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Bible studies, like I said. But Bible studies is like really tough because, like, it is tough. I'm not gonna lie, to like sit there and read the Bible and put your opinion, like say your opinion, her say hers, and you guys be like, oh, who's right? Like, I get that too. But it is something really cool to do. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Like at first, I was not about it. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't about it. But then, like we're listening and we're like talking about it with each other. And Proverbs is one that I would recommend for you guys to start reading together. Start in Proverbs is 31 Proverbs, one for each day of the month, right? So you read a Proverbs every day and every night. Just try it out, just for a month. And then from there, you're gonna see how fun it is to just serve God together.
Mm-hmm.
And then like involve her.
Yep.
Involve her in the things that you feel God with. So like I love music, right? Like I'm like, dude, I gotta listen to the exact words. I gotta know, I understand why they play the chord when they play that chord. You know what I mean? So like I'm telling her, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's just, she does not care. But I see that like she understands that I love that, and that draws me closer to God.
Yep.
And as a loving wife, wise wife,
Mm-hmm.
she'll listen. Sometimes she'll comment. Sometimes she'll be like, "Oh, that's really cool." Other times she'll want to learn more, but I know she doesn't care.
Yeah.
You know. So it's like putting God first doesn't mean you got to push her aside. Putting God first means you love God, and that love for God should draw her closer to God, and automatically you guys will be closer than ever.
Okay.
Close and with God.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's amazing, amazing thing, man. Like there's gonna be days where you don't know what you got to do, and God will use her to tell you what to do.
Yeah. And like, honestly, thank you very much for that, because nobody has really put it that way. And even this morning, like I was on the phone, I was telling you, I was on the phone with my, my cousin, and we were talking about this.
Yeah.
And this is like the thing that like, it's been so tough for me because like I said, my wife is my everything. And, and now that you kind of like put it that way of like the triangle and like going upwards together, like now it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I definitely like want to work towards that. And I'd be lying if I said that, like, like starting right now, like it's different, but because it's not, it's like something that we need to work on.
Mhm.
But as you were speaking, like a question kind of like that I have for you as well is also, so you were talking about like starting at Proverbs.
Yeah.
And like I feel like people who are starting this journey as well haven't they have this thought, which is the same thought that I had, which is like when you're reading the Bible, right? It's okay to jump around.
100%.
Because
100%.
like it almost, as somebody who, like I said, I'm new to this stuff, and like I don't, like I started reading, like I was telling you, first page.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was like wrong to jump around.
No. So if you look, even your Everyman's Bible, if you open it up, it gives you a way to read the Bible in a year in the beginning.
Okay, I haven't looked at that.
So when you open it, it'll give you, if I'm not mistaken, if we have the exact same Bible, it'll tell you Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So like right when you open it up.
Okay.
Next page might be the index, and then it's like how to read your Bible in 1 year. I'll tell you how to read and it's not Genesis 1, Genesis 2, Genesis 3. It's Genesis 1, and then I believe it's like Proverbs 1, and then Matthew 1.
Okay.
Day 2, it's Genesis 2, Proverbs 2, Matthew 2.
Okay.
It's something like that. It's super sick, dude.
Okay.
So that's one way. But the reason I say Proverbs is because Proverbs is how to live with God here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Proverbs is. It's your guide to life here on earth.
Yep.
Right? To somebody who doesn't want to feel like they're shoving it down someone's throat, that's the best way to go about, I feel. Because you're not shoving God down their throat. You're shoving life down their throat. And then when you're done, you're like, wait a second, but God talked about this there. And then you read the references down at the bottom.
Yeah.
That reference will send you somewhere else in the Bible. You know that, right?
No.
Down at the bottom of the page is references. It says like
it's like those little notes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
They're little notes, but they'll tell you where else in the Bible it says that.
Okay.
But then when you read that other section of the Bible, it'll explain that in a different way that you might understand it better.
Okay. So
You're constantly jumping around.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like that's why I asked
Yeah.
because like this is something that like before, even to this day, and the
Yeah.
reason I ask is because like I almost like felt wrong to jump around
Oh, yeah.
because I was more so. I mean, I guess up until now, seeing it as a book.
Yeah.
And you don't read chapter 1. You don't read chapter 7 before chapter 1.
Yeah.
So like I feel like people
It's not
want
even
to know that, that it's okay to
it's not even written in chronological order.
see. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's not
Okay.
even written in chronological order. That's the
Okay.
beautiful part. So I'll show you a picture after this. How many references there are in the Bible. It's not how many, but it shows all the different references.
Okay.
And it's this beautiful picture. And dude, it is nuts. Like there's stuff from Genesis that leads to like Revelations, and like it's so sick.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, you can jump around all you want. I would say to if you want to be more organized, continue reading that book and also jump around.
Okay.
So for example, you read Genesis 1 today. Tomorrow you want to read Genesis 2, but I also want to read John. Okay, read Genesis 2 and then go read John. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
All right,
mhm.
now tomorrow I want to read Proverbs.
Yeah.
Read Genesis 3, go read a book of Proverbs. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, so you're totally cool to jump around, bro. Like it's totally there's like different Bibles that'll teach you how to read in chronological order in different ways to read the Bible, but you're more than welcome to read Genesis and Revelation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is like the first and the last book. Right?
Yeah.
The second to last book.
And like another thing, it just because like I listened to your podcast before.
Yeah.
And I've also listened to other podcasts similar to this and stuff like that. And just as somebody who is like getting into all this, that I think somebody else would gain from this is like, what is the right Bible? Like,
Yeah.
is there an answer for this? Could it be any Bible? Like, where should
The
the
right
common
Bible?
person start?
The Greek Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like it's they're all different translations. Even King James. So King James is it was written like, way back in the day. It's the least modified version, right? So if you do read it, there are things that in King James are written a little bit differently than NLT, NIV.
And have
Right.
you read all of these?
No. So
Okay.
what's funny is like, bro, up until like this podcast, like I'm not gonna lie, I never dove deep into the Bible. I was more of those like church going, like, revelation, like, oh, like, someone has the gift to like interpret your life and they'll go and they'll be like, oh, you're going through this, and that, and the Bible says this, and that's what I knew. I that was one way that I grew up very, very wrong.
Okay.
I was eating someone's chewed up food.
Okay.
That's why you got to read the Bible for yourself, for you to dive deep. Because, dude, what's cool is me and you, right? As of today, I could read Proverbs 1. You go read Proverbs 1. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll talk about what we read. I promise you, we're going to have different views on a bunch of things. That's what's sick.
Just
So,
like everything.
everything. So, I recommend if you have a hard time understanding Old English, NIV, NLT, but also keep a King James with you.
Okay.
I would. Because why? It's the closest. And then if there's a word, because like when you're reading, you might seem like this word makes sense, but like I feel like it could be a little bit different.
Mhm.
Google go find the Greek version of what it says, and then it'll tell you go find out what the real translation is to that. And
Okay.
you're like, whoa, that makes more sense
Yeah.
now. So it's pretty cool, dude. It's really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Cause like right now, I'm kind of like I'm trying to understand everything.
Mhm.
I'm seeing all these like gifts from God and all these blessings and
Yeah.
all these things throughout my days and stuff like that. But I want to understand more, like I want to dive more into it. And every Sunday that I go to church, like obviously they read from the Bible and they
Yeah.
have stuff going on. But I want to fully understand everything that's being spoken about because there's times where I don't understand. And that's what I will say that I love my church so much is that they really tie it to your life
Message.
today.
Yeah.
So like they help like it helps so much for those things that I don't understand.
Yeah.
But like they say at my church is that, like Sunday when we go to church, like that's just a portion.
Yeah.
This is a 7-day thing. This is a everyday thing.
Yeah.
And so like on the days that I'm not at church and I don't have the person talking to me and breaking it down and tying it to my life, like I want to understand that myself so that not only like for me, but for somebody who's in my shoes,
Yeah.
be able to give them that knowledge, you know?
Put it this way, right? Um, Athlete talk. You got to practice every day,
Mm-hmm.
but there's only one game a week.
Yep.
It is like football.
You got to practice every
You
day.
got to practice every day, and there's some things that you're going to learn on your own. There's some things that you know what I mean. There's positions, right? Like let's say wide receiver or running back. There's one running back who runs right at the defender. There's some that knows how to run better around. There's some wide receivers that can just run a straight route, but they're faster. So everybody has their different gifts,
Yep.
right? But it's the hard work and dedication. And like you, let's say for example, I want the gift of prophesy, right? You want to be able to see someone know their whole life. Some people, oh, I want to speak, you know what I mean, in tongues and like, you know what I mean. There's a bunch of different gifts. I want to be able to bring happiness to someone when I sit down with them. There's a bunch.
Yeah.
Seek and you shall find.
Okay.
So in the handbook, you already have.
Mm-hmm.
So you got no excuse now.
Okay.
You got the Bible.
Yep.
So dive deep. And if you ever have a question, like for example, I want to understand about anger in the Bible, bro. Every man's Bible actually will tell you. I'm gonna grab mine after this. I'll show you what I mean.
Okay.
So if it's the same Bible, if like you want to read about anger, like oh man, I've been very angry this week and stuff like that, it gives you a bunch of different Bible verses, Bible chapters that you can read and understand on how to deal with your anger and stuff. So the Bible's there, man. The Bible, it's amazing how much you can learn from that book. It's what I tell people to be careful with what they read on other books. You know what I mean? Like a book that tells you it's very important to grab understanding. The Lord tells us we have to seek understanding from this world, but His is more powerful. So when you do read a book, make sure you're remembering at the end of the day you're Christian,
Mm-hmm.
right? Remember at the end of the day that the Lord's will in our life will be done no matter what we want,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's that book says that if I tell myself I'll make $1 million this year, I'll make $1 million this year, right? Manifestation. Well, guess what? If God doesn't want you to make $1 million this year, you can work as much as you want, man.
But you won't.
You won't. You won't. And that's where like the power of God always overcomes, you know? So, and I think you're heading in the right direction, man, because you're not thinking I know it all. You know what I mean? Like you already understand that you need to seek more understanding and you already like understood the voice of God. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're honestly, bro, like it's amazing like to see. And I don't know you before, right? Because I didn't know you
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
But truly, man, like I can say for someone who didn't know you before, I'm still very proud of you to see
Thank
like
you.
how far you've come.
Thank you.
But based off what we talked about and seeing your love and hunger to understand God. And I'm telling you, dude, it'd be cool if we do this again in like a year
Yeah.
and see like,
Yeah.
you know
And
what I
see a
mean?
difference. Yeah.
You sit here preaching to me, dude.
For me, it's I'm on this journey to like obviously I want to connect with God. I want to spread His message. And I want to I want other people to feel the way that I feel. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't on this journey for myself.
100%.
And I want to be able to reach my full potential. And that doesn't mean reach my full potential as a photographer or success and all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I want to reach my full potential as a person. Like there's this one thing that was spoken to at church and it was about judging. And it's like, okay, like we see this person that is like very overweight. And oftentimes, like people will laugh or people will say, okay, like, they're overweight because they want to be and because all this stuff. And it's very easy to judge.
Yeah.
And what they had said at church, which like really I'm trying to instill in my daily life every day, is maybe we should look at this person and say, I pray that they figure it out.
Yeah.
I pray that they make better choices, or I pray that they start doing this thing to help their health. Um, and that is what I mean by reach my full potential is like I want to be more pure. I want to be less judging.
Yeah.
I want to be more thankful. Um and just to me that is what reaching my full potential is, because before I used to think about success in like money
Yeah.
and my business going well and getting all these clients and stuff like that. Um, but now since I've found God, like now my success that I want is within. And and I still want those things like for like my success, photography, whatever.
Yeah. As you should.
But I have gotten to a point, and I'm so early in this, where I think that I am okay if I don't reach those accolades or whatever you want to call them,
Mhm.
and I'm still a good person. Like
Yeah.
as a person is where I want to grow, and that's why like I think like stuff like this is so important, and just like me going to church and reading my Bible and getting closer in a different way with my wife and my friends and stuff like that. Like that's really what I want.
Praise God, dude, because everything else will fall into place.
Hmm.
And what I do tell you is like you're looking at it all really, really great. You put God first and you seek him, and that all things else will be added to you. Right? That's
Yeah.
what it says Matthew 6:33. And you really like put God and understand that the true definition of success is defined by you.
Hmm.
Some people they don't even know God yet, and they think that it's just about making the money. And it's just about I want to be able to make sure my wife never has to work, my mom never has to work, and that's a form of success. It really really is.
Yeah.
But those that like seek the Lord and like really put God first, and all those things were added to them, that is like even a better feeling, dude. Because you're like, wow, like thank you so much. You realize it's not you. That's the best part.
Hmm.
That's actually something I wanted to ask you about too. Was FlicsByFacu, right? How long
Yep.
have you been doing that?
For like 4 years.
Four
I'm
years,
going on like
full
4 years.
time,
Yeah.
no other job, or
No,
you
no, no,
do it
no.
too?
Like I do too.
Yeah,
So like I was telling you before, like
yeah,
I want to get to the point where this is my full time job,
yeah.
but I've been doing it for 4 years, like from like when I really started to where I am now.
Got it. And do you travel to do it, or just you're really local for now?
Both,
Yeah,
both. Like obviously like I'm open to travel.
yeah,
But like most of my work comes from like the Boston area. So like I guess a travel is like an hour or whatever, hour and a
yeah.
half. But like I'm open to traveling, but most of my work is like here in Massachusetts. And and like yeah, like it comes local from people like at home, and like I'm from Leominster, so like people in Leominster will hit me up, or people that are coming up and stuff like that.
Got it. Just want to make sure I shouted you out, of course,
No,
bro.
no, no, no. I appreciate
If you
that.
guys need some photos done, we'll add some photos here. Send me some pics. I'll add it
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
little
yeah.
group.
I will. And no, yeah, like I definitely wanna I that's what I wanna do, like
Yeah,
as a career, is I wanna fully switch over to doing photos full time.
you got this, dude. You got this.
Yeah.
Like you're putting God first, and not gonna lie, when you do that,
Hmm.
he's gonna allow the enemy to come in and like try to ruin things because why? If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? Everybody
Yeah,
would
yeah.
serve God and be like, "My life is great, man." Like, no, but I truly believe that you found your path, and I think you're down a great road where you can help and disciple the next generation to come.
Hmm.
I think you got that drive in you too. So, dude, like I pray that all this favor over your life, over your business, man. I
No,
hope you
thank you.
all
Thank you
love from
very
here.
much. Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. And like obviously I'm so thankful for, this conversation that like we're having and stuff like that. Not only because I feel like this is something that I needed, but also because I want to connect with more people that are on this journey, whether they're starting or they're years in or their whole life in.
Yeah,
And I think like it's important to connect with people like you and stuff like that, and especially at a time like now where like we spoke about previously, only 4% of Gen
yeah,
Z, if that is correct, only 4% of Gen Z is like living this godly lifestyle.
yeah.
And I like, especially now, like it's so important. Like there's so much going on. There's
Yeah.
war going on. There's all this, there's political stuff going on. There's stuff going on in people's lives, social media. There's like this poison everywhere. And I think that we tend to really get lost in all that. And when I say we, I also mean myself, because I have gotten lost in that. I've found myself going down like negative rabbit holes and things that I've seen on the internet and all this stuff. And it's like, it's so hard to not be
Yeah.
there, like to not feed into this stuff. And with my relationship with God and this that I'm building, I feel like I have strayed away from those types of things. And I really pray and hope that other people can start to stray away from those things and get into the things that are like actually important in life, because like we really can only control what's here and what's
Yeah.
in front of us. So like it's really easy to get lost in those other things.
100%.
I definitely like, I hope that somebody who's listening to this podcast, somebody who is where I was, can gain from this and see that I used to be an angry person. I still have uh tendencies of the person I used to be. Um and I'm just starting this journey right now. Um but in this short amount of time I've changed a lot as a person. I'm not the person I was even 4 months ago. And I hope that somebody who's listening to this that hasn't made that step into finding themselves and finding this
Journey.
journey, really really does it, because it will change your life. And it will, I can tell you myself, like it's the best thing I've ever done.
It is. No, anybody who's ever done it, there's nothing but good. And like even the hard times that come, it's still good because God's gracious. But it's something that I hope that the younger generations that you were talking about is like they can just dive deep into this already and just be so much further ahead when they're our age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to add on, bro?
No, just
No?
that, like I said, if you are wanting to make the step forward, if you have something telling you to take that step and you're putting it off, the right time will come, and when the right time will come, and do it, because your life will change for the better. And I pray that people will find God, and I wish well upon everybody.
Praise God.
Yes, sir.
Guys, if you haven't already, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll have the link to his page too. If you guys need any photography done, you do videography as well.
Dabbling, yeah,
Dabbling,
dabbling
okay.
in it.
Oh, hey,
We'll take the clients.
Yeah,
We'll take the
yeah.
clients.
Hit him up, guys. I'll have the link down below. God bless everybody. Once again, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys have anybody you guys want to send over as well to be on the podcast, let me know. God bless everybody. And as always, keep the faith flowing. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Through every trial, come one man. With his grace, the journey never ends. Built on faith, family.